What have been the most successful ad campaigns you've seen that just got a ton of eyeballs?
The one that got the most is Peloton. Basically, HBO show had a main character die on the bike. Mr. Big in the show is riding a Peloton, and he dies on the Peloton as a character in the show.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they wrote him out of the show. So the stock actually crashed.
The next day, the stock of Peloton actually went,
So over the so within 36 hours, we developed so the Maximum Effort team created an app for Peloton that the ad was that he faked his death and ran off with the Peloton instructor.
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Welcome back to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly. Here with my co-host, Charlie Cavalier, and our guest today, Mark Douglas.
How you doing?
Good, man. You?
Good. I'm doing great.
You look like you're in a great mood, man.
I'm a little tired, actually.
Yeah?
I started the day early, and I've been to Tulsa, Tucson and back this morning today.
Wow.
Bro, what?
That's a drive.
Yeah, I flew. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I have a pilot's license. So I flew
Really?
myself. Yeah.
It's only one, and you've already made a round trip?
Yeah, so I flew myself this morning and flew back.
Man. So you have like your own jet or something?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to have to dive into...
I went to a high school called Aviation High School. And so even as a kid, I wanted to be involved in aviation. I didn't wind up pursuing it as a career, but yeah, I eventually got a pilot's license. So I got an airframe mechanics license in high school. Only high school in the world you can do that. And then as an adult, I learned to fly, and eventually, I'm a type-rated jet pilot.
That's really cool.
And it's not something I actually talk about. This is the first time I'm actually.
Wow.
Really?
Very few people know that. Yeah, because it's kind of like, I think people respect that I'm in the front of the plane flying it, as opposed to the back of the plane just burning jet fuel.
Yep.
And, like saying to everybody.
That's funny. I didn't know there was a high school for airplane pilots.
Yeah, that's crazy.
New York City has. I grew up in New York City, so they have these vocational, Bronx science, aviation, and it was fun.
I feel like that's one of the most useful skills you could have in life, being able to fly.
I find it, the thing is, connecting a little to business, I do so many more in-person meetings than I would.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have gone to Tucson this morning for a meeting if, what I thought was an important meeting, unless, without the convenience of being able to get there and get back, here. In time.
Right. Yeah.
What was the hardest part about getting your license?
I did it like a job. I had just sold the company earlier in my career, and I went to the airport 5 days a week for 90 days. At the end of 90 days, I was a licensed pilot. Now to then reach, like jet levels, that takes more training. But I really dove into it. I had the luxury of being able to like kind of dedicate myself to it at the start. Yeah.
I want to dive into Mountain and how you even got business partnered with Ryan Reynolds. So could you tell that story?
Yeah. So I'll give you a quick background on Mountain. So Mountain essentially has democratized TV advertising. TV advertising used to be this thing where you had to spend big budgets and really expensive creative and hire big agencies in order to get your brand to television, which is a really powerful medium. What we did is we turned that into like a software solution where you can just come into the Mountain software platform. You can literally upload TV commercials and set who you want to reach, and it runs like any digital campaign, like if you were using Meta's ad platform or Google's ad platform. But we did that for television, and it exploded. I mean, we now you can go down as low as $5,000 a month on your ad campaign. I mean, no one before we did that thought you could do TV advertising for $5,000. Or it can go millions, and we have customers in that entire spectrum. And so we just basically, with the advent of streaming television, which makes it like not broadcast and cable, makes it more personal, that enabled us to build all the software to kind of democratize the medium. And the TV network.
Are you someone that doesn't have life insurance? Why leave anything up to chance in a worst case scenario? Luckily, Policy Genius makes finding the right policy simple, and their team of licensed experts are on hand to help you through it. Life insurance gives your family a safety net that they can cover expenses with, so they don't have to worry about money while getting back on their feet. I've had friends and family members that have passed away without life insurance. It's definitely left us with financial instabilities. Even if you already have a policy, it may not offer enough protection for your family's needs, and it may not follow you if you leave your job. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policy Genius knows how valuable your time is. Their technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from America's top insurance in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. Policy Genius has licensed, award-winning agents who can help you find the best fit for your needs. They work for you, not the insurance companies. They don't have an incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. Policy Genius is for parents, caregivers, and anyone else who has people who depend on them. They simplify the process of getting life insurance so you can protect the people you love. They got thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Your loved ones deserve a financial safety net. You deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. Head to policygenius.com/DSH or click the link in the description to get a free life insurance quote and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/DSH.
Love it because we're just bringing all these new customers
Right.
into the television advertising market.
Nice.
And then, so as you mentioned, Ryan Reynolds became our chief creative officer about 2 years ago. And the way that came about is one of the problems we had is that we have all these customers coming to TV for the first time, but they literally didn't have TV ads. So that was their
Right.
biggest issue is like, this sounds great, but I don't have a 30-second commercial for ABC,
Right.
for a major TV network. So how am I going to get that? So Ryan has an agency called Maximum Effort that he built to get to market Deadpool, because the original Deadpool the studio didn't
I
really
love that
provide.
story.
Yeah, didn't really provide.
Oh, they
much
didn't
in
provide marketing?
They wouldn't
He
pick
had
it
to
up.
do his own. They wouldn't give
So,
him marketing.
really?
budgets.
They bought the rights for Deadpool,
Yeah.
and then they wouldn't build it. And then for like 5 years, it was sat on a shelf until somebody pretended to leak that it was going to happen or something like that. And then everybody went so nuts, the studio's like, guess we got to make it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously it's been a massive
Success.
success, but part of that success was the marketing of the film, and we've all been exposed to the marketing. A lot of that was earned media, meaning it was just like viral basic videos that Ryan and his team, very small team, which is how he loves it, were doing to basically market the film. So the typical method, I'm not much into like marketing movies, but the typical method is trailer.
And billboards.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of showed how you really use social media to market a film, essentially. And so now he has an agency, and they started to take on other clients. The thing, when I met Ryan, that was interesting, because a lot of people ask, I asked him, so why do you like doing like commercials? Because he actually enjoys it. He says this connects to your story. He says it took like 8 years to make Deadpool for 50 million people to see it, or 100, however many people see it. He said I could do an ad this weekend and 50 million people see it that week.
Yep.
Wow.
And so he's like, I'm just a creator, and he thinks that advertising is another medium and obviously social media to create. And so that's why, he took Maximum Effort and it's like, let's keep doing this and let's do it with emerging brands, which that closes the story, which dovetail exactly with Mountain, because we were enabling the TV medium for advertising with emerging brands. And then Ryan's Maximum Effort team loved emerging brands, and someone introduced us.
Wow.
And I mean, within 3 days,
Everything was
we
just getting
were
leveraged
like,
from
okay, let's
Maximum.
combine.
That's
let's,
a match made in heaven.
yeah, let's just do this together.
Nice.
And it's been fantastic.
Yeah, that's
literally the hardest working. I wouldn't even say the old saying hardest working person in show business. hardest working person in business.
Wow.
Like he has an insane work ethic.
He just had a major exit, right?
Yeah, and people give me credit for it. I'm like, you know, like, hey, congrats, Mark. I'm like, yeah, I didn't sell any gin. That was Ryan. You know? Or, you know, it was a mobile company.
Yeah, Mint Mobile.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Mint Mobile.
Unfortunately, I didn't know Ryan.
But
We did that deal.
that helps Mountain, though. 'cause
No,
now-
it does.
Yeah.
It does. And we work with that company and now T-Mobile, and so
Nice.
that was all good.
Now, with the decline in TV viewership, are you going to pivot towards putting ads on Hulu, Netflix, and other platforms?
So when I'm saying TV, I mean all like streaming.
Oh,
media.
okay. So you're already on there.
Right. So we're already on. We stream ads through partnerships, literally with every ad-supported content source in America, but what we call living room quality. So like episodic programming. You know, like as sit down, watch TV type program.
Got it.
And the reason for that is because that's where it performs the best. So a typical YouTube ad actually doesn't really perform.
Really?
So one thing to keep in mind, all of our the ad industry is kind of divided into two sectors. You have one sector of brand advertisers, they buy ads. The other sector, what we call performance advertisers, direct response, they don't buy ads. They want to buy traffic. Right. And so like no one goes to Google. No one wakes up in the morning and goes, I want to buy some ads on Google's search page. What they really want is I want to get traffic to my brand.
Right.
And the ad is just a means to an end. Mountain is in that part of the market that's direct response, which is 3 times the size of brand advertising. So everyone thinks brand advertising in the US, that's a $70 billion market. Direct response advertising, Google, Meta, Mountain, Amazon, that's $180 billion.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's much, much larger. And so to enable the medium for you know, kind of emerging advertising, any size advertising, these are e-commerce companies, travel brands, direct to consumer brands that are looking to, you know, kind of just make you aware of what they have, and if it's something you like, great. They just got a new customer.
Wow. We got to talk, because I know so many big e-com brands that spend so much money on Facebook ads.
Yeah.
I'll send them your way.
Awesome. Thanks.
Got you.
What has been the biggest thing that you see other people doing? And don't give away too many trade secrets now,
Okay.
right? But what do you see people doing incorrectly when they try to copy what you're doing?
Well, usually it kind of starts with the brand themselves. So they get very focused on the medium. Like, okay, I have this team to do like search, this medium to do meta, this team, to do TV, rather than focus on the method, which is like, because the skill set that your meta team has is actually probably way better for television advertising in this new world of you can target it, you can measure it, things like that we've enabled. And so that's the biggest struggle. When we go to larger brands, they want to silo everything. And we're like your TV team has never been held accountable to metrics at all.
Right.
Like they're just literally broadcasting out ads. They're the ones buying ads as opposed to driving traffic to the brand. So that's the biggest issue, is you should say, what is your goal? And whoever in your company is best at that goal is who you should assign to it. So to get back to your question, I don't think our competitors clearly understand that either. Yeah. So
I love that.
What have been the most successful ad campaigns you've seen that just got a ton of eyeballs?
There are a lot. I mean, the one that got the most is Peloton.
Yeah, I used to get that every day.
Yeah, we were involved in that.
Nice.
You know, and they, you know, kind of they got called out on an HBO show. Basically, HBO show had a main character die on the bike. And so
I didn't hear about that. I ride a Peloton every day. What's going on?
Well, there was nothing wrong with the Peloton, but the stock crash.
Right.
Like basically what is, you know, when what's the phrase, when life follows art or something?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So
Wait, he died?
Yeah.
In
so
the
they
show.
have Mr.
Oh,
Big.
in the show.
Mr. Big in the show is riding a Peloton, and he dies on the
What?
Peloton as the character in the show.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they wrote him out of the show. So the stock actually crashed.
The next day, the stock of Peloton actually went. Yeah.
So over the
Wow.
so within 36 hours, we developed so the Maximum Effort team created an app for Peloton that the ad was that he faked his death and ran off with the Peloton instructor.
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant.
And it went out 30. Literally, the ad was created and released on our platform and every social platform so fast that people were like, "No, you had to have no." It was created over a weekend, put out on Mountain's platform, put out on social media, got 6 billion views in 3 days.
6 billion views.
Yeah,
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
Yeah, I woke up Monday morning to literally everyone from Good Morning America to Al Jazeera wanting to do an interview
About running away with the
ad,
Peloton. That's
about
amazing.
the
Wow.
ad,
That's
kind of
nuts.
the response ad
Wow.
to what happened, and that's a thing that we call Fastvertising, which is like your first thought is probably a bet. Like, don't try. This another learning is like most companies try to have that one big ad campaign. You're better off just kind of staying in the flow of culture and just doing a lot of small campaigns at a lot lower cost, right?
Yeah.
And those opportunities, just come about every week. You just kind of have to, if they kind of dovetail with your brand in a nice way, seize them. So that's the other thing is, you like companies routinely spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, obviously for the Super Bowl, millions
I was about
of
to bring
dollars
it. Yeah.
on an ad. Nobody does that on TikTok or Instagram. They spend $10K.
Yeah.
And then they do, new ones every month.
One of the funniest quotes I saw by the Super Bowl commercials was Mr. Beast after the commercial said, "If anybody wants to reach 100 million people for less than $7 million, give me a shout."
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
The average was 10 mil last Super Bowl.
I'd heard 7, but 10, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
at what point does a brand even justify spending $7-10 million on a Super Bowl commercial versus like what could be a year-long social campaign?
It obviously it has to be something like a product launch. You're trying to create a
Ego,
moment.
maybe?
Ego probably plays a big role. You can see me stuttering trying to answer the question because and the creative doesn't have to cost that much either.
They spend a lot on that too for the Super Bowl ads.
It's an insane amount of money. So just again, first thought, do it fast, make it culturally relevant if you can, if that fits what the moment, the brand, and that tends to work much better and at a much, much lower cost.
Yeah.
I saw you guys are using some AI stuff too, right?
Yeah, so we just launched or announced, we haven't actually launched it yet, a creative AI platform. So what we're trying to do is it dovetails what we're just talking about. Instead of having brands do 1 or 2 commercials a year, we want to help lower the cost of building the creative so they can do 1 or 2 every month. And so that's what we're after there. And so initially a lot of people think AI kind of is trying to eliminate jobs. I think the best quote I've seen on that, you guys have probably heard, is that AI eliminates the job of the people who are not using it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah. And so we're trying to enable the creators to be able to build more, but do it at a lower cost. We're not trying to replace. I don't know any marketers waking up and go, today I want to be a videographer.
Yeah,
No, they're and no amount of AI tools are really gonna bring all of the skills of the videographer in terms of the creativity and things like that. So what we want to do, it's more is if we can help lower some things like the cost of storyboarding. The nightmare scenario in advertising for creative is you hire someone, you agree on what you want, they build it, and you hate it. Right? And now they still want to get paid, and you have an asset that you're like, I would never show this to anyone. And so you can do things like make live storyboards. We can use generative AI so you can kind of get a really good feel for what the ad's going to be, even if you're still going to do full production on it. Things like that. So we're attacking those kind of elements in the ad creation process through, it's called Viva from
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you ever see, we'll use Ryan as an example.
Yeah.
Is he ever going to sign his rights over to use his face as an AI deepfake in a movie?
Well, I think the Writers Guild is striking on
Yeah.
the topic of AI. So my default response would be probably no.
Oh, that's what I thought it was about pay. They're striking about AI too.
I think it's in there also, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, that's right. I often get asked this question: is what's it like to be Ryan Reynolds' boss? I'm not Ryan's boss. I mean, Ryan is a prolific creator. He's it's incredible. Him and George Dewey, his co-creator, and the rest of the team that are there. We all work together, but they pursue a lot of projects. I don't. That could occur in the future. It's definitely not something that I think anyone's thinking anytime soon. Yeah.
What are some emerging trends you see in the advertising space coming up? Because I noticed on TikTok, the ads are more like homey. It's not like professional. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's more like intimate.
Well, that's the whole idea. Is to you lower the cost by being more real, like by kind of like being honest that, hey, I just want to show you my product.
Right.
That's all. See, I don't know, 50 years ago or probably even less, it was jingles and let me subconsciously get you to buy a product. You have to be determined to buy a bad product these days. Like, it is so easy to check. I don't buy lunch without checking reviews. Seriously, right? Nothing do I buy without checking reviews. It takes no amount of time. So you can't kind of sell someone these days, and for a while now, you just can offer. You can just say, hey, this might be interesting. And I think, and then to get people to pay attention, you have to be creative. And that's where, you're referring to that kind of homey feel, or that genuine feel. And if the more people feel that, generally the more they lean into it. If they feel it more as like a form of entertainment, then they're going to appreciate it more. And
that's how I shop now, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I look at reviews every time on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy if you're like buying a product and going, I wish I didn't buy this. No. I mean, you literally did not do your homework.
DYOR. What is your least, in your opinion, what is the least useful social media platform in existence?
Well, I'm neither a big Twitter fan or
Threads.
Threads.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like blue check mark ocean right now.
Yeah.
Like I went on a Threads this morning because I was curious, and there was not a post from someone who didn't have a blue check mark.
Wow.
It's too easy to get now.
And well, it wasn't even so much that; it's that the engagement is coming from professional content creators. It's not. There seems to be literally almost zero organic stuff happening on Threads. I mean, granted, it's like not even is it day 5.
Yeah.
But the Twitter, is just I'm still, for me personally.
Yeah.
Instagram is a great platform. The TikTok, is fun to use.
So you like the visuals? You like Instagram, TikTok?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, and I think it's connecting to what we do. It's a great. All of our customers use those platforms.
Yeah, you never hear of people making Twitter ads.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, and but we'll see. I mean, competition breeds creativity, so
Right.
that the whole kind of Twitter space I'll put Threads in the general concept of Twitter space, one-to-many communication to anyone.
Yeah.
Competition might really change that arena, and I think words have kind of disappeared from social media. I
7
think they
seconds
do
or less now.
Yeah, I think they do play a role, and and it's part of the reason you see a lot of even if it feels really organic, it's still professional content, is because the words are so much easier than videos and things like that for most people.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter anymore, dude.
No, I think we both hopped on the Threads thing recently.
Yeah.
Twitter became a bit of a cesspool. I'm not gonna lie. You get on there, the UI is not fun. There's ads everywhere. Buy this, shill that, tag you in this, retweet this, like that, giveaway here, giveaway over there. So I mean, I'm not a huge TikTok fan. We both love Instagram, so it's nice. We like the visuals like you do.
Yeah. It feels like it's not it's for extroverts.
Yes.
Like for people that want a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone forgets social media started with it truly was between friends,
Yeah.
right? Like
Right.
original Facebook, your feed only had content.
I'm
from your
old enough where
friends.
you had to be invited by somebody who was already on Facebook to join Facebook,
Yeah.
and you had to have a .edu email address
Wow.
to get into Facebook.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
07.
Yeah.
Man. Where do you see the future of content? Because it seems like it's leaning towards short form now, but I don't know if that's a fad, or do you think the long form will make a comeback?
I mean, they both play a role. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of money is spent on people sitting in front of the TV and watching Netflix and watching, kind of long form content. So that's not, I mean, there's a role to play there. At the same time, like me personally, I use YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
And and I'm listening to shows like this, watching shows like this. And so I think they both play a role. And the thing is now it's so mobile also that you're just kind of always consuming content.
Right.
The one thing that is, if you look at the stats, so the average person uses social media, who's active on social media 59 minutes a day. The same person watches TV 3 hours a day.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and those are actual stats. It's part of why my company pursued the space, because we were like, well, the TV market is under monetized because it's only selling to 1,000 to 2,000 companies. The where all the revenue is generated.
Yeah.
Whereas social has hundreds of thousands, millions of companies leveraging it as a advertising medium. So the medium is still there, and anytime you see it in certain shows on Netflix, I mean, they routinely kind of cross over into becoming part of like the popular culture conversation, right?
Yeah, Squid Game.
Yeah, and so that's kind of proof that long form, they both play a role. It's also kind of proof that people are just insatiable consumers of content. Period.
Yeah.
So that
I agree.
I'm not sure one's taking from the other. I think the TV is not growing as fast, but it's huge to begin with in terms of number
That's where you
of hours
built
spent.
like a cult following too.
Right.
When you have the long form view.
How much focus, if any, have you put into advertising in video games?
We haven't done anything there.
Really?
And I find it to be
I would love off camera sometime. I would love to have that conversation.
We should, because
yeah.
we're very, very focused on the kind of democratized TV opportunity. So we're kind of staying very tightly focused there. But a lot of the technology we've created, if not most all of it, could be applied to gaming and other arenas.
You told me about the Fortnite music thing, right?
Do the Fortnite music thing, and you know what I love reading. I'm a marketing geek. I love industry data reports more than I want to admit, honestly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing the dual monitor or the triple monitor setup, right? Where they're sitting there and they're playing Fortnite, but they have YouTube off to the side or Netflix off to the side. So the socials people and the Netflix people think they have that guy's attention, but really he's playing Fortnite, and who's ever advertising in the video game is the one winning the most.
Yeah,
That's funny.
That's really interesting.
And so
I don't doubt it at all.
and it's really interesting to see, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Valorant, all these, games. I mean, gaming is going to be a $200 billion industry by 2027.
Yeah, it's the biggest entertainment. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are always surprised at how small the movie industry is.
Yeah.
And because it has such a kind of impact in everyone's mind, but in raw numbers, like the video game industry is. But I believe it's bigger than television.
Oh yeah, the Harry Potter game
Wow.
they just released. The one Harry Potter game they just released made more money than all 8 movies combined.
No.
Yeah.
You serious?
That in the first 3 weeks.
Those movies are legendary,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Yep. And so there's a lot going on in video games now, and that also kind of makes me, because a lot of the advertising you're doing is, it's not immersive, but it's on social media, and it's like you're breaking the fourth wall. Right. It's Ryan breaking the fourth wall, or whoever you're using breaking the fourth wall. When are we going to start seeing, if there is a fifth wall, if you'll allow me to just make that up?
Sure.
When are we going to start seeing people interacting in the ads on social media instead of just consuming it?
I don't see a lot of that right now, and the reason being is part of it is that substantially raises the cost of creating. Like most companies don't have them. I think you could start to see some of the biggest brand advertisers. I think those are the opportunities they're looking for.
Okay.
That emerging e-commerce brand that, we kind of been referring to, I don't think they're, like that they have the resources of people or, to do that. But I think really large brands. And then once you have people who break that ground, then you can start to like kind of bring that, again, democratize it, bring down the costs and things like that. It's interesting. You mentioned having, someone's got a monitor in front of them, they got Netflix and YouTube, because I mentioned when a few minutes right before we started, I mentioned that my company is fully remote.
Yeah.
So we have 500 people with no office.
300 of them are playing Fortnite right now.
Could be. So people find that really fascinating that we're and a lot of companies who thought they were going to be remote are kind of like giving up on the concept but we're actually very committed to it and almost couldn't go back if we wanted to, because everyone is scared.
Wow.
Like we have people when the pandemic started, I think something like 98% of our team lived in LA, and now that's down to I think
now it's scattered.
It's like less than 15%. Which is a combination of all the hiring we've done, combined also with everyone scattering. And but we do I just thought this topic would be interesting. We do quarterly offsites, and the offsites cost as much as offices.
Wow.
To fly 500 people to one location costs a lot of money.
Sounds like a lot of.
Yeah, it's not. We don't save any money on. It's kind of a. I was gonna say lifestyle choice, but there's a better word. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a choice. We'll just say it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's not less expensive, or if anything, it's a bit more expensive. To make it doable, you have to have really clear metrics for everything. Because if that person's taking a break and playing Fortnite, more power to you.
As long as they get their work
we're
done.
hitting the numbers,
So you just care about the metrics. You don't care how many hours they're putting in.
Well, yeah. I mean, you never, in a tech company, it never works to manage people by managing their time. I always say, like, when you join a company, you're essentially entering a relationship. Except most companies, it's a very transactional It's like a relationship you would never get into in your personal life. Yeah. You would never enter a relationship and go, okay, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to give you money, but in return, you're going to, do everything I want, exactly when I want it. It used to be wear what I want, like almost wear. Well, you still do that.
Yeah.
You wear a uniform in a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
All these things. You would be like, you would never enter a relationship like that.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And so, to have a team of that size where there has to, like any relationship, there has to be a lot of trust and there has to be a lot of clarity.
Absolutely.
And if you bring, and a lot of like vision and passion, like we all know where we're trying to get together. And then if everyone views it as we're in this relationship together, then, each individual with their coworkers and so forth, you can make it work. And I think we've made it work really well. And as a result, everyone can live where they want. They can. We have a lot of digital nomads that kind of travel and live all over. And I personally, I think we've grown tremendously during that time. So I think it's really worked for us.
Mark, it's been a pleasure, man. Been a great episode. Where can people find out more about you?
Thanks, appreciate it.
Can they find you on Instagram?
Oh yeah, Instagram. Teach me how to Douglas.
Teach me how to
Number 2.
Teach me how to Douglas. Teach me how to Douglas.
And that's the main platform I'm on. Teach me how to Douglas.
All right, Teach me how to Douglas, guys. Go find them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.